We continue now at the top of Daf Mem Bezim and Bezim Meseches Eruvin. This is Eruvin 42b. The Gemara here is discussing the issue of, let's say a person is Shavas Bebika, he makes his residence in a large open area, a large valley, and then the Nachrim build walls after the fact. So certainly he only has a tchum of 2,000 amos in every direction from where he made his makom shvi, so that's not a question. The question is, can he carry in the entire enclosed area or not? Shmuel was lenient, said you can carry in the entire enclosed area. Even areas where he can't walk, he can carry by throwing to those areas. And Rav Huna said, well, since you can't carry in areas where you can't walk, and we're not going to allow you to throw there because we're afraid you're going to be drawn after the item that you throw, therefore you really can't carry at all in this area except within Daled Amos. Other than that, you can't carry at all. So now the Gemara here is bringing a brisa to prove that we can be lenient like Shmuel. Brisa says, "Hayamoded uba v'cholsa midaso b'chatzi ya'ir." Let's say he's measuring his tchum. Happens to be his tchum ends halfway in the middle of a city. Mutter l'taltel b'chol ha'ir kula. He can carry in the entire city. Uvilvad shelo yavor es hatchum b'raglav. As long as he does not walk past his tchum. His tchum ends halfway through the city. He can't walk past that area, but he can carry in the entire area. It certainly seems like Shmuel. Gemara says, "B'may metaltel." How is he carrying here? Lav al yedei zrika. Isn't he carrying by throwing? It's exactly the leniency that Shmuel said. So the Gemara says that Rav Huna Amar Loch. Rav Huna will say to you. Some people take out this line over here, but Rav Huna will say to you, "Lo al yedei meshicha." No, he's carrying through meshicha. Exactly what that means is also a little confusing because Rav Huna said you're not allowed to carry at all except within Daled Amos. So what exactly does that mean? So Rashi over here says as follows: Lo b'meshicha lo garsinan. First he says take out the girsa. Uman de garis law. If you do have the girsa hachikamer, here's what the Gemara means. For Rav Huna Amar Lach, Rav Huna says to you, "Hayde katani mutter l'taltal b'chol yerkula." When it says that you can carry in the entire city, what does it mean? B'meshicha, it means you're going to pull it. Ka'amar shemoshech michutz la'alpayim l'soch alpayim. You would be allowed to pull something from outside your 2,000 amos to within your tchum. The hasam, because in that scenario, leko lemigzar shema yimshach, we're not afraid you're going to be drawn after the item. The lav cheftzavu ademaisila the gavai, because it's not even his things until he brings it in. V'chimaisile sulo mapikle. Once he brings it in, he's not going to take it out again. So that might be one way to understand this line in the Gemara. But in any case, the Gemara was saying this brisa seems to be a good proof to Shmuel's position. Amar Rav Huna, now Rav Huna says, "Hayamoded uva v'chalsa midaso b'chatzi chotzer." Let's say his 2,000 amos end in the middle of a chotzer. Ein lo elo chatzi chotzer. He only has the chatzi chotzer. He only gets the chatzi chotzer. He only gets half the chotzer. Gemara says, "Pshita." That seems very obvious. Why should he get any more than that? Ema yesh lo chatzi chotzer. No. So say what he was telling you is you do get that half of the chotzer where it ends in. Gemara says, "Hanami pshita." Isn't that also obvious? Gemara says, maybe he shouldn't be allowed to carry in this half a chatzar because he's going to carry in the whole thing. Kamash Malon, that in this case, even though Rav Huna is worried in that other case, he's not worried over here. Rashi over here explains, so Rashi understands at first that it means he can walk in half the chatzar. Gemara says, pshita, that's obvious. That's where it ends. So he says what it really means is that he gets half the chatzar. It means that he can walk. Not that he can carry, but he can walk. Just telling us a heter. Gemara says, "Hanami pshita the palga the betoch midaso isle the palga the besoch midaso isle." Of course, it's obvious that he has the part that so that he can walk in the area that's his tchum. So the Gemara now Rashi has here a parentheses explaining exactly what was going on. Amar Rav Huna hachi garsin and Amar Rav Huna hayamode duva v'chalsa midaso v'chatzi chatzer ein lo ala chatzi chatzer. Now there's a note over here in the Mesuras Hashas that the Maharshal says, "Min hachi garsina adivrei maschal model lihuna mi peirish acherim." It's not really coming from Rashi; it's a different explanation. It goes as follows: Pshita dehashamina le Rav Huna degazer shema yimshach. Isn't it obvious that he can't carry because he's going to be drawn after? According to the second version, it's like I explained when I read the Gemara originally, that he can carry in half the chatzar, not just walk. Telling us this heter. Hanami pshita, isn't that also obvious? The palga, the v'soch midaso, shari lo dami l'shavas bevika. According to this explanation, the Gemara was asking, it's obvious you can carry, because it's certainly not comparable to the case of the bika, where you're not allowed to carry. There you can't carry at all. well. Mishum time with the nifritza, because it's open to an area that's usher. Dahi vada nifritza lamakam asr. That's for sure considered open to an area where it's usher to carry. Shari mechitzas halalu lo hayukan mivod yom. These walls weren't even here before Shabbos. V'aisasur l'chol adam. This was an area that was usher for anyone to carry in. Ukeshahukva b'Shabbos v'oilu lazesh b'socho la'alpayim. Now suddenly this guy that you built mechitzas, now suddenly he can carry within his tchum, but not outside his tchum. The area outside 2,000 amos, nobody has a heter in. Therefore it's a problem. But when it comes to a chutzner, you don't say, well, since I can't carry in half, therefore I can't carry at all. Because when Shabbos started, this chutzner was one chutzner. Granted that this guy can't carry outside of his 2,000 amos by throwing, because he'll be drawn after it, but he certainly can carry within his own tchum. So this is the other explanation. So really two explanations here in this statement of Rav Huna. Was he talking about the fact that you can walk in that half of the chutzner, or was he talking about the fact that you can carry in that half of the chutzner? And the Gemara now continues. Amar Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman says, Modeli Huna. Rav Huna, again, who is strict in this case of the bikah and says you can't carry, he admits in the following. Let's say it happens to be that his 2,000 amos end right at the edge of a roof of a house. So mutter letaltel b'chol habayis. He's going to be allowed to carry within the entire house. My time, what's the reason? Hoel v'tikras habayis chovetes. Because the roof of the house, it comes down, so to speak. It basically acts as a siman for the guy. It tells the guy that he can't go any further. Rashi over here says, even though in general, Rav Huna is afraid you're going to be drawn after the item, let's say the house itself is outside of his tchum, and let's say the case is that the wall of the house is breached open, but the roof is still there. And the house is open not into a public domain, but it's open to a chutzner. The lo have a bias nifritz l'makam aser. The bias is not open to an area that's aser to it. Mutter l'talta b'chol habayis. You can carry in the entire house. Al yedei zrika, meaning through throwing. He can't literally carry, but he can throw it into the house. V'av bisha aser lichanis l'socha b'raglav. Now, even though his tchum ends by the edge of the house and he cannot enter there with his feet, but here we're not afraid that he'll get drawn after the item. Hoel v'tikros habayis choftos, because the roof of the house is there, meaning kilomar niros kiyordos v'sosmos. They appear as if they come down and close off the area. V'ika hekar, and it's recognizable to the guy where he can and cannot go. V'lo mamshech sharein of nos and betikra. He's not going to be drawn after it. His eyes are going to see the roof. V'siminhu, and it's like a sign. Shasham kalsa midaso, that over there is where his tchum ends. So in this case, also Rav Huna, according to Rav Nachman, Rav Huna will admit in this case that it's fine. The Gemara now continues. Amar Rav Huna b'reider Rav Nasan. Rav Huna, the son of Rav Nasan, says, Kitanoi, this is actually a machlokas tanoim. Following. Holichu lo ir acheres. This is going in our Mishnah. Let's say they bring him, the Nachrim bring him to a different city. Unesanu b'diro basar. They put him into some large enclosed area. Rabbi Gamliel of Rabbi Lazar ben Azariah omre mahaleches kula. Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Lazar ben Azariah were lenient in that case and say you can walk through the entire thing. For Rabbi Yoshua of Rabbi Akiva omre mein lo el arba amos. Rabbi Yoshua and Rabbi Akiva say he only gets 4 amos. So the Gemara wants to associate this with the machlokas we just had between Shmuel and Rav Huna about carrying. So my lav is it not? Rabbi Gamliel of Rabbi Lazar ben Azariah d'amru mahaleches kula. Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Lazar ben Azariah, they say you can walk in the entire enclosed area. The lo gazri hiluch dir v'sar ato hiluch bebika, because they're not afraid that you're going to get confused and think, oh, if I can walk in this area, then I also can walk in a bika. And from the fact that they're not concerned about walking, they don't make a decree that you're going to get confused. Tiltal atuhilach lo gazri, they're also not going to make a decree that I can't move something because then I might walk in that area. Rashi over here explains, Kitanoi igazrinan shami yimoshech ilo. It's a machlokas tanaim whether we're afraid someone's going to get drawn after the item. The lo gazrinan hiluch dir v'sar hechad denasanu nachrim bo. In a situation where the non-Jews place him in this enclosed area, they're not afraid that he's going to get confused. Atu hilach debika de'ein ba mechitzos. Let's say in a situation where he was in a bika in a valley where there's no walls. Dahasam ein lo ala dalad amos. In that case, you only get 4 amos. Kedetanan bereish pirkan uvedir v'sar afagav delo shavas ba'aver mechitzosein mi ba'od yom ka'ar ba'amos damyan le hoel uvaones yatsa mitchumo. So since in the case of the enclosed area, he was forced to be there, that entire area is considered like a Dalet Amos. But in a situation where he's in a Bika, it's not an enclosed area, he's not going to get anything more than Dalet Amos. Let's say he was taken to an area with no walls, but maybe people will get confused. They'll say, well, if I have a whole tchum over here, if I have this whole enclosed area over here, maybe I should get a new tchum in this Bika. So they're not worried about that. So similarly, they're not going to be worried about tiltul. They won't be worried, just like Shmuel. So that's perhaps Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, they'll be lenient. And then the Gemara continues with Rabbi Yoshua and Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Yoshua and Rabbi Akiva da'omrim. Rabbi Yoshua and Rabbi Akiva who say, Ein lo ela arba amos, that even in the enclosed area, you only get 4 amos. The Gazri hiluch dir v'sar atu hiluch debika. They make a gezeira about a situation of an enclosed area because of a situation where you might be in an open area. You're going to get confused. Umidehilach atu hiluch gazri. And from the fact that they're afraid you'll get confused in terms of walking, in one case to another case, that's why they make a decree. So tiltul atu hilach nami gazri. Maybe they make a gezerah also when it comes to moving things around. They're afraid if we let you move something around, you're going to end up being drawn after the item and walk outside of your tchum. So the Gemara wants to say over here that the machlokus between Shmuel and Rav Huna is the same machlokus that we have in the Mishnah between Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah on one side and Rabbi Yoshua and Rabbi Akiva on the other side. The Gemara says, Mimai, how do you know that's the case? Dilma kilo gazri Rabbi Gamliel Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah hiluch sar v'dir atu hiluch bika hani milei hasam d'shnei mekomosein. Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah are not worried in the situation of the enclosed area and the valley. They're not worried about that because it's 2 separate areas. Avol tiltul atu hiluch d'makom echadu. But in a situation where you're moving things around and then you're all in one place and then you might actually follow the item, so hachanami de gazri gezei rashami mashech acher chefzo. Maybe they actually would be concerned that you'd be drawn after your item. The guy will be drawn after his item, and it is a problem. And you can say the same in the other direction. Rabbi Yoshua, Rabbi Akiva nami, mimai de mishum de gazrihu. How do you know that Rabbi Yoshua and Rabbi Akiva make a gezerah that they're worried that you're going to get confused between a bika and the deer and the sar? Dilma mishum de kasavri ki amrinan kol abayas kulakar ba'amos dami. Maybe they really hold as follows. Maybe they really hold that when do we say that an entire house or an entire enclosed area is considered like Dalet Amos? Hani mili hecha de Shabbos ba'aver mechitzos mibod yom. That's only true if you were within those mechitzos before Shabbos started. Aval hecha de lo Shabbos ba'aver mechitzos mibod yom lo. But in a situation where you were not in that enclosed area within those walls before Shabbos, maybe we don't say it's all like Dalet Amos. Maybe that's really their reason. It has nothing to do with a decree at all. So the Gemara now says, Amar Rav says, Hilchasa Rabbi Gamliel b'dir v'sar usfina. He says that the halacha is like Rabbi Gamliel, not only by the case of the deer and the sar that we just quoted, when the nachrim bring you into an area that's enclosed, you get the entire area, but the halacha is also like Rabbi Gamliel and is also like Rabbi Gamliel in the situation of a sfina. The case of a sfina is the sfina is outside of the tchum. Rabbi Gamliel said you can walk in the entire ship. The entire ship is like your area. It's like your Dalet Amos. Shmuel says Hilchasa Rabbi Gamliel b'sfina. He says that yes, we are lenient like Rabbi Gamliel. The halacha is like Rabbi Gamliel by a ship. Avol b'dir v'sar lo, but we're not so lenient when it comes to the situation of nachrim who bring you to this enclosed area. Gemara says the kuli alma miyas halacha Rabbi Gamliel b'sfina. Everybody seems to agree that halacha is like Rabbi Gamliel by a ship. My time. What is the reason we are so lenient by a ship that goes outside of your tchum, you can walk throughout the whole ship? Amar Rabba says, Hoel v'shavas ba'aver mechitzos mibod yom. Since he made Shabbos within the mechitzos of this ship before Shabbos started, therefore for sure the entire ship is considered his Dalet Amos. Rabbi Zeira says, Hoel usfinaso notelaso mitchilas arba umenachaso besof arba. Since the ship is constantly carrying the guy from one end of Arba Amos to another end of Arba Amos. Rashi will explain this in a number of ways, but the point is, Rabbi Zeira is saying since the ship is moving, therefore he can walk through the entire ship. Gemara says, "My beinayu." What's the difference between these two opinions? Iga beinayu shenivchesu dofnei svina. One possible difference is if the walls of the svina they deteriorate, they have a hole in them. Inami bekofetz misvina lesvina, or if he's jumping from one ship to another ship. Let's take a look at Rashi and see first of all what exactly Rabbi Zeira means, and then we can see what the difference is. So first of all, Rashi says, Hoel v'shavas havelosvina karba amos. Since he made his residence in the boat before Shabbos, it's like Dalet Amos. And then Rabbi Zeira said, No telaso mitchilas arba manichaso lesof arba. Kilomar, what it means to say is as follows: Mishiyatza zechutz letchum lo nakat lei arba amos desfina kol shah him halechas b'chol kvitzo yosmei arba amos. This guy, once it leaves the tchum, this boat is constantly, with every single movement, going more than 4 amos at a time. Nimtza she'ein lo Torah's arba amos klal. Therefore, there is no Torah, there is no category of dalet amos in this situation. Shelo amad psiachas besoch arba amos. He can't even take one step without going more than dalet amos because the ship is moving. So he walks, he's always walking more than dalet amos. Hilkach lo kanu lo arba amos. Therefore, there is no, he's not kona dalet amos, and he can walk through the whole ship. That's the first explanation Rashi gives. Lishnachrin, another answer, another version of explaining this idea. A little bit of a strange explanation. The boat is going east and he's walking west. So if he's walking the opposite direction of the boat, he's always within his dalet amos. Casually, that's difficult to me. That's good if he's walking one direction. What if he goes the other direction? We don't find any distinctions that Rabbi Gamliel makes in the Mishnah between walking in this direction or that direction. So that's a difficult pshat. He says this was the explanation that was given from Rabbi Shimon Mipia Rav. Lishnachrina finally gives another explanation. Kilomar k'sha'ogas raglo kodem she'anicheno hasfina motzios midalad amos shelo v'nichnas l'soch arba amos acheros. When he lifts his foot and takes one step, he's really stepping into a new arba amos al karcho, against his will. He therefore falls into the category of one who is carried by non-Jews chutz me arba amos, of outside of his dalad amos. And he's been placed in a new arba amos. Shenos and lo arba amos. We now give him a new arba amos. V'chein la'olam. This happens constantly. V'ze'ikr. He says this is the best explanation. That's why, since he's constantly being transported outside of his dalet amos, he always gets a new dalet amos. So the Gemara then said, "My beinayu bein Rabba Rabbi Zera." What is the difference between Rabba and Rabbi Zera? Shenivchasu dof ne'asfina uvidlu hamachitzas. Let's say something happens to the walls of the boat. You don't have good walls anymore. The Rabba lesson to Rabbi Zera Isa. According to Rabba, you don't have walls, so you don't have the entire boat. Can't be like your dalet amos. According to Rabbi Zera, it has nothing to do with the walls. According to Rabbi Zera, it's because you're constantly being moved more than dalet amos, so therefore it's mutter whether there are walls or not. Inami bekofetz misfina l'sfina. Let's say he goes from one boat to another. He was never in these walls before Shabbos, so l'Rabba yachal halach. According to Rabba, he loses his tchum. Bazu in this case, so Rabbi Zera sharin. According to Rabbi Zera, it's going to be permitted in this case. So the Gemara now says, Rabbi Zera my time along Rabba. Why doesn't Rabbi Zera say like Rabba that the mechitzos of the Sfina work and the entire area, since you were in the Sfina before Shabbos, the entire area is like Dalet Amos? Amar Loch, he'll say to you, mechitzos, when it comes to the mechitzos, and we'll see the continuation of this discussion in the next video on Daf Mem Gimel Amar Aleph.